scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you?
So I had the cutest interaction at the grocery store today.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the avocado aisle and I had my AirPods in because I usually am, I don't know, fucking listening to something because I'm like, nobody talk to me.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, ma'am. And I'm completely ignoring because usually like dudes are fucking weird to me in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then he like kind of comes up to me and I look over and I like take my thing out and I'm like, what's up? And he's like, can you tell me, how do you buy an avocado? And I was like, oh, and I'm like telling him like, well, you want it squishy like this, but not squishy like this. And it was just like so cute. And he was like, wow, thank you so much.
What a wholesome interaction.
Oh, just like a nice thing. Just
somebody asking for genuine like store related advice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not being like weird or annoying. Nice change of pace.
That's cute, honestly.
It was really cute.
I'm gonna do that.
He was like so like, okay, like yeah, totally, like so into it.
That's so did you like have avocados in your cart?
Yeah, I was like picking them out and kind of like squishing them and stuff, so he must have like seen and been like, she knows what's up with the avocados.
Her hair's green, she's buying avocados.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. That's fucking, well, that's cute. I'm glad.
It was cute. It was nice.
It was not a weird dude at the store.
Yeah.
Because I assume there's a lot of those.
It always is.
Yeah.
It usually always is.
A public place, man.
Yeah. Guys, Moonshine is back.
Yeah, Moonshine's here.
She's here, and she's being really cute right now.
Ugh.
Per usual,
hey.
but like cuter than normal.
Say hi to the say hi. Say something.
Say hi to the people, Moonshine.
She doesn't want to say hi.
She's saying it in her heart.
True. As she's like flailing her limbs
like,
to get away from me.
This is Remarks.
This is the podcast that we do.
That we do. Weekly, every Monday.
Every Monday.
Here we are.
And my name's Taylor.
And I'm Phoebe.
And, yeah.
and here we are.
Here we are.
And we're gonna probably bum you out a little bit.
Most likely. I mean, but again, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Like,
what are you here for?
If you listen to this show at all before, you know
what you're gonna get.
It's a bummer.
Taylor, what are we talking about?
We're talking about some fucking Jesus, baby.
Fucking Jesus, dude.
Yeah, dude. Jesus, man. We're talking about religion and why it's bad.
Yeah.
Which I guess was like the prompt in our research. And I kind of got sucked into like a specific thing. Like
I totally did too.
A pretty specific like thing that happened. Like initially I was like, I'm gonna do this giant like timeline. But I mean, the newsflash, this just in, religion been around for a while, so
you're lots right,
to cover.
20 gazillion BC. Humankind was created.
Like the day God created man.
Yeah.
And then Eve. I don't know what did he made Eve out of Adam's rib?
Yeah. Apparently.
According, which
is, I'd like to. So you're telling me that the body that creates literally babies was created out of a different? No.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
no.
It's not. It's stupid.
And I mean, obviously, it's all fucking. That's fake anyway. So who cares? But
and it's all fake. But this is like dumber than the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know though. There's a lot of questionable things in the Bible.
I mean.
But that's a podcast.
I got some questions for you, Jesus.
Hey, Jesus.
Hey, yo, Jesus.
Beautiful. Anyway, do you want to take it away? You want to start us off?
You want me to?
That or, I mean, I can.
I will.
All right, go for it.
I can't remember who went first last time, so.
Me neither, so I say
doesn't matter.
Just you do it.
Awesome. Just you do it. Yeah, so like Taylor was saying, I definitely had something that was going to be like kind of this large topic, but I very much got sucked into one thing because as I started researching, I like rabbit holed into this thing and I was like, holy fuck. So
Jesus Christ,
quite literally. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that kind of specific thing. Oh, so my original idea was I was going to talk about, like, religion in school curriculum.
Oh.
But then I just got way sucked into just sex ed and why it's such ass in the United States.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, Taylor, did you know that the term separation of church and state does not actually appear anywhere in the Constitution?
I actually did not. I
didn't
not
either.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's, like, freedom of religion. But
yeah.
I didn't know, it was different.
Yeah, like there's no actual clause that says like there needs to be separation of church and state. There's things that kind of like cover that, but there's no like this needs to happen. So because of the First Amendment, which protects religious freedoms, the defining of separating church and state can get a little bit complicated. Educators are allowed to teach about religions, but they're not allowed to teach that religion.
Yeah, for sure.
They could introduce a course where they teach students about the different religions around the world. Excuse me, I had a little hiccup. And like what each religion practices and believes, but they could not teach the beliefs of, say, like Christianity in their classroom, talking about the birth of Jesus and delivering it as fact.
Ah, okay.
Under the First Amendment, students and teachers are allowed to express their beliefs and practice their religion on school grounds to like a certain extent. Teachers, of course, are not allowed to influence students of their personal beliefs. But like, for instance, a teacher could wear a cross necklace, a student could wear a hijab, but the teacher could not share details with their students about their religious beliefs. Right? Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Under the First Amendment, it should also, for example, protect students whose religion practices prayer throughout the day, like in Islam.
Mm-hmm.
That, as we all know, probably doesn't ever really happen, but
not often.
But in writing, it should.
Yeah, the idea is there.
Yeah. So I'm explaining all of this because, despite the existence of the First Amendment and the fact that curriculum should be free from bias toward a particular religion, I think that anyone who's set foot in public school can sense the overwhelming Christian influence.
Oof.
Taylor, you grew up in Utah and attended public school in Utah,
Absolutely.
Correct?
100%.
Did you ever feel that the curriculum was influenced by Christianity or any other religions that maybe have their foot in every single thing in the entire state?
I definitely felt that. Yeah, I definitely caught the vibe. I'm trying to think of any like specific scenarios. Well, I mean, I think one thing that's interesting is that, like, my middle school and high school, like, you can take seminary classes, like, for the LDS church. Mm-hmm. But, like, you couldn't take it for, like, I don't know, like, I was religious when I was in high school, but I was evangelical. So, like, I couldn't take a evangelical God class, but they could go and study scriptures and be fed that shit as one of their, like, school classes.
Yep. There was like a building like dedicated to it, like a separate building.
It's kind of sus, if you ask me.
Kind of a little bit sus.
Kind of not cash money. Does not slay.
Yeah.
No yasses for the queen. Yeah.
Does not boots down the house, Houston.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely can say that I had that same like experience. Definitely the seminary thing. Definitely, I feel like just certain like ways that my teachers taught was very much like influenced by definitely like Mormon, but also just like I think the general curriculum, like there's definitely Christianity deeply rooted in there. And also, side tangent story, I think I was in like the 5th grade or the 4th grade or something, and we had a substitute teacher, and for whatever fucking reason, she like started singing Mormon songs. Like she was like having the class all together singing these like Mormon songs, and I literally raised my hand and I was like, hey, like I don't think we should be like doing this.
I don't know these songs.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I literally like brought up like, isn't there like separation
You're not supposed to do that,
church and state? And she literally said to me, she's like, well, I don't think it's a problem. We're all Christians in here, right? And I was like,
wow,
I am going to grow up to hate the government.
Oh yeah. That actually, I had something similar happen. We had a substitute for a few days, like when I was in like 5th grade, my teacher had like surgery or something, and for some reason like church came up like just as like a topic of discussion, and like obviously I had been indoctrinated in my own way, so I was like, arguing that like Mormon people weren't Christians because like we were the real Christians or whatever. And evangelicals kind of the only thing they hate more than gay people is Mormons. So
it's so true.
But and like we got in this big argument, and like the teacher was like, well, I can't officially say what my religion is, but if you notice the ring on my finger, and it was one of those like CTR rings. Yeah, I vividly remember that now. It's insane.
I hate it. Because we live in America, Christianity has seeped into every aspect of our government. Federally recognized holidays are all Christian. Our currency says, "In God we trust." Every morning, students say the Pledge of Allegiance, which includes the words "under God," which I was texting Taylor the other day about it because I was listening to Behind the Bastards, where he was talking about like the people that made that become a thing, and it was like what 1950 or something. 1950s?
Yeah, it's like in the 50s.
I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, and our curriculum in public schools has been greatly shaped by Christianity. One glaringly obvious area is sex education.
Oh yeah.
Our sex ed in America is atrocious.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Completely. It's so insane. Many schools preach abstinence-only education, refuse to teach about or even acknowledge that LGBTQ people exist. See the Florida Don't Say Gay bill that's happening.
Yeah.
And some schools hardly even teach about female anatomy, like, at all.
Yeah, that's what, like, I remember in my health classes in high school, middle school and high school, like, it was very, like, you didn't really talk about, like, other than just, like, women have eggs that get fertilized to have a child. Like, they don't talk about, like, everything else that goes on with, like, a woman's body. It's weird.
Like, they don't talk about menstrual cycles. Mm-hmm. They don't talk about, they don't even really give you, like, the anatomy of, like, the vagina. Yeah. Like, they don't like, cervix, labia major, labia minor. Mm-hmm. Clitoris, God knows they wouldn't talk about that.
They haven't found it, so. They don't know. These male fucking health teachers, you bring up the clitoris and they're like, come again?
Well, I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Coming again.
No, you wouldn't be coming at all, so.
Oh, fuck. So this is why that is a thing. The Adolescent Family Life Act, or AFLA, was enacted in 1981. 1981, everyone.
Okay, what is this act?
Super recently. This was part of the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. AFLA is a U.S. federal law that provides federal funding to public and nonprofit private organizations to counsel adolescents to abstain from sex until marriage. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services gives money to AFLA for them to create abstinence-only education and to teach of the difficulties that can come with pregnancy out of wedlock. Which, like, pregnancy, if you are a teenager, can be very difficult.
Very stressful.
And you should know about the reasons why it can be difficult. Mm-hmm. However, pregnancy out of wedlock on its own, fine. If, like, you're not a fucking teenager. Yeah. Yeah, and that's not achieved through abstinence, so. Or at least through abstinence-only education. Anyway. So AFLA was created to, quote, promote chastity and self-discipline.
Nice, yeah.
Ooh. Because of AFLA, the Social Security Act also funds abstinence-only programs, allotting about $215 million a year and counting to these programs. So that's where our Social Security is going, folks.
Love it. I'm so juiced that the government takes so much of my money to do awful things with.
Same. It's my favorite.
Yeah, but no, I mean, get like with what you're saying, and I'm sure you'll get into it. But yeah, it's like abstinence is a part of sex education, but it is not the like the end of it. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because again, like I guess as an educator, like your only job is to give people the information. And then let them decide what they want to do, right?
Exactly.
And you can say, like, oh, there's, like, this tiny percentage that condoms don't work. And there's this tiny percentage that, like, birth control doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So, like, the only, like, fully safe way to, like, be is to not have sex. But, like, they don't say that, they don't give you the info. They just say, don't bone. And
yeah, don't fuck, you horny teenagers.
Yeah,
and don't fuck, and we're gonna make fucking sound like it is this secret thing that you will never know about, that now you're really gonna want to do it because you're like, what is that all about? This secret thing that you literally is so crazy you won't even tell me.
You won't even tell us about it.
You won't even really like
crazy.
say it that much.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Love that. So under this act, the definition of abstinence education program includes teaching, quote, a mutually faithful monogamous relationship in context of marriage is the expected standard of human sexual activity, and that sexual activity outside of the context of marriage is likely to have harmful psychological and physical effects.
Yeah.
Woof.
Woof.
So let's unpack that a little bit. Sure, a mutually faithful monogamous relationship can be great. Also, not everybody's cup of tea. Fine. In the context of marriage is the expected standard of human sexual activity. And that is just such a fucking weird, creepy way to say that.
Yeah.
The standard of human sexual activity.
Yeah, like, this is the normal way to do it. If you're not doing it like this, you're a fucking freak, so.
And you know that, like, in that faithful monogamous relationship, they are definitely saying it is just a man and a woman. Like, they're not saying that part out loud, but that's what they mean.
Yeah. I mean, we've been new. And it was 1981, so, like, it wasn't, at the time, it wasn't legal to
gay people
be married, so.
Yeah.
They didn't need to put that clause in there, because you couldn't be.
That's true. I mean, so they said it right there in
Yeah.
the context of marriage. Okay, second part. Sexual activity outside of marriage is going to have psychological and physical effects, harmful psychological and physical effects. That is so fucking unhinged to say.
Yeah.
That is so unhinged to say. Because guess what? Sex in marriage could have harmful psychological and physical effects. Like, it's
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like it's the kind of sex and the kind of things that are happening that, and again, they don't teach about what, like, like consent and those things that are really the root cause of what lead to those psychological problems.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes, the things that you should be fucking teaching.
Yeah.
God. So under AFLA, it is also prohibited to provide education on contraceptives, abortion, or any safe sex practices, which is kind of obvious, but it's prohibited. Like, you cannot, if you are being funded by this program, you cannot talk about any of that shit.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So where the hell did AFLA come from? Well, guess what the fuck, y'all? In 1970, two senators, one from Alabama named Jeremiah Denton and one bitch ass from Utah named, do you want to guess?
Orrin Hatch?
Yes! It's Orrin fucking Hatch.
Of course it's Orrin Hatch.
Oh my god.
Why would I think it was anybody else?
Yeah,
like, it's Orrin Hatch. I mean, and first off, he's the only senator I know that's that old, but.
True. That's true. Who is unfortunately not dead yet. So.
I can't believe it.
The man is hanging on by a fucking thread.
It's like when, like, either like the bet, like, because I think of like the Bernie Sanders types where I'm like, the revolution is like keeping him alive.
Yes.
But then it's like they're on the other end of the spectrum. There's like people that are being kept alive on just like their pure evilness. Yeah. And that's an Orrin Hatch case right there.
100%. Yeah. He's like almost cryogenically frozen, just with hate, though.
Yeah.
So these two fuckers decided that the current family planning program in the U.S. was hedonistic and that, quote, the program undermined self-proclaimed family values and promoted premarital sexual relations and abortion.
Yeah.
Which, so let me tell you.
What a world if it did. That'd be tight.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's fuck all the time and abort our babies.
Abort everything, yeah.
And the other part that gets me is self-proclaimed family values. So that's your own personal. Things that should not be influencing the rest of the fucking government. Your own personal opinions. Orrin, if you're listening.
Yeah.
So the initial family planning program was actually pretty tight. It was known as the Title X Family Planning Program. This program used to fund amazing things such as contraceptive counseling and providing funding to low-income or uninsured families. Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Neat.
Dope.
the right thing to do.
Normal human things that are nice.
Good stuff that everybody like needs and should have access to.
Absolutely.
But then the fucking Nightmare Squad comes along and decides to fuck everything up for the rest of us.
Always.
So, Orrin Hatch and his bestie, Jeremiah Denton, introduced AFLA as a solution to the rising teen pregnancy rates. So between 1974 and 1980, the rate of pregnancy among girls 15 to 19 rose by 8.2%. Which I don't like that. I don't really feel like that's crazy, but I guess, I mean, whatever.
Oh, they were saying it was like a crisis?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's a rise, I guess.
It's a rise, and teenage pregnancy can be rough, but like, is it the end of the world? I don't think so.
Shit happens. Well, and also, I'll get to another statistic later about like the numbers of teenage pregnancies and anyway, and why that 8.2% is kind of hilarious. So, right. So 1974 to 1980, the rate of teenage pregnancy among girls 15 to 19 rose by 8.2%. Because this number began to rise after Title X had been introduced, many idiots like Hatch and Denton concluded, or at least used as an excuse, that Title X was the cause of the rise in teen pregnancies. Oh. Because they were like helping people learn about how to fucking use condoms and shit.
They're like, well, if they know how to use them, they're gonna fuck more.
Exactly.
Which, doesn't make any sense. Name a more dynamic duo.
Truly.
Orrin Hatch and Jeremiah, whatever the fuck. I'll wait.
So, thus, AFLA was introduced as a program that would, quote, address the social and economic ramifications associated with pregnancy and childbirth among unmarried adolescents. AFLA also states that pregnancy and childbirth among adolescents leads to severe adverse health, social, and economic consequences. Which, like, I mean...
People that get pregnant as teenagers, it leads to that, or
whatever. Which, like, economic consequences, because they're fucking teenagers and y'all don't give money to them anymore because you made this bill. So, there's your first problem.
And also, just the systems we have in place are the reason why they're, like, economically in a bad situation because they can't get any assistance to raise their kids.
We don't have free healthcare or childcare.
Exactly.
So, and honestly, like, adverse health effects, not really. I wouldn't think so. You're young, so you're probably gonna have a pretty healthy baby. Your uterus is probably functioning pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, and especially like teenagers, because like I don't know.
You're pretty fucking healthy at that age for most people.
Nice health, dork.
But you know who won't get pregnant when they're teenagers?
I'm gonna guess Anchor, our sponsor.
Yeah, every single employee at Anchor did not have premarital sex, and that is because they are pure in the eyes of the Lord.
True. What you're saying is that every single employee at Anchor is a virgin.
Yes.
They are all they we'll put it this way, they all have Reddit accounts.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh.
Nice. We're back.
We are not front.
We're so back.
We're so back. Not side, not other side.
Yeah.
Front.
Like, if this podcast was Sir Mix-a-Lot, we would be baby, because we got back.
We got back.
Yeah.
That's fucking good.
I'm a natural, what can I say?
No, for real.
I'm officially a podcaster, so.
Yeah. Oh, you are. We're so fucking official.
It's insane.
Sometimes I'm actually, just to talk about how good we are at this, sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, like it's a whole thing. Like, this is a whole ass podcast. It's like really good, actually.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah. We kind of fuck at this a lot. Yeah. We got stickers.
Yes.
Another shameless plug for the stickers.
Absolutely. Endless shameless plugs for the stickers. They're fucking so cool, you guys.
They're cute.
They're honestly, way cute. I love mine.
Again, hit us up on Instagram if you want one.
One single smeasly.
I like smeasly.
Is that a word?
Yeah, it is
Smeasly
now.
little dollar. Oh, man. Let's talk about this shitty bill. So, at the time AFLA was introduced, we had the metaphorical bases of the U.S. government all lined up with Republicans. Hooray!
Sick. What year was that?
Favorite. This was 1980. Hold on. I think 1981. Let me find it. 1981.
Sick. So yeah, we were big.
Yep.
Reagan era.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The majority of the Senate was Republicans, as well as the president was Ronald fucking Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically did not stand a fucking chance.
Ooh, no.
Because of the infestation of Republicans, AFLA was able to pass without a single hearing or floor vote. They kind of just snuck that one in.
Wow.
Under the door frame. Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some bullshit. In AFLA, it states that, quote, there was a need for services provided to adolescents and their families by other family members, religious and charitable organizations, voluntary associations, groups in the private sector, and publicly sponsored initiatives.
Mm.
Woo.
I love it when they do that, when they're like, at least how it sounds. I don't know exactly what they meant by that, but where it's like, oh, like all this other stuff that you might need, like we'll leave that up to like the, the churches and the private corporations, but you want some public money for anti-abortion propaganda?
Uh-huh.
It's yours.
Here it is. Yeah, which it's like they're not even providing services too, is the thing. They're literally, the service they provide is fucking don't bone education. That's it. Like,
yeah, it's just propaganda.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Yeah, propaganda.
It's just a bunch of old dudes not wanting you to get fucking laid.
Yeah.
Which you should be able to.
You should.
Absolutely. Go out right now.
Pause. Do that. Come back. And think about how much you love healthcare that provides you abortions.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so because of this, AFLA was able to provide federal funds to organizations providing these services. Organizations that typically promote these conservative mindsets are... Guesses.
Ooh. Purdue University.
Actually, that's a great guess. Religious organizations.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to list some off, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yes, just generalized religious people.
Cool. Like some focus on the family, motherfuckers.
Exactly. So from 1981 to 1988, AFLA provided over $100 million federal dollars, and that's in the fucking 80s. So that's a shit ton of money. Yeah, over 100 million federal dollars, that means our money, to religious organizations, specifically Roman Catholic charities that teach abstinence-only education in churches and private schools.
Damn.
Yeah, fucked up. Not good. In 1988, AFLA came under fire in a Supreme Court case known as Bowen v. Kendrick. Sorry, I gotta clear my throat.
Bowen v. Kendrick? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Bowen v. Kendrick challenged AFLA, saying that using taxpayer dollars to fund religious organizations was unconstitutional. Which is kind of, like the thing. But don't worry, they found a way around that.
Well, you said that the Constitution doesn't explicitly say anything about it, so...
Exactly. So this was I found this on the Embryo Project Encyclopedia. That's where I got a lot of my information on this. So this is the quote from them about that. Quote, the Supreme Court ruled that although the AFLA funded programs that aligned with certain religious ideologies, it was constitutional because it did not encourage government involvement in religion. The Supreme Court also held that AFLA's mission to prevent adolescent pregnancy and premarital sexual relations was a valid secular objective.
Yes, very valid, very secular.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, and again, it's just like you get your friends to be like, hey, am I cool with doing this? And your friends who think the same way you do are like, yeah, no,
exactly.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, right.
It's just, it's stupid.
It's like, oh, the Supreme Court, who's like insanely fucking Christian, founded by Christians, applying laws that are Christian laws. Yeah, they're gonna be down for this.
Especially at that time, right? Because it was all Republicans. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yay. So following this case, the government happily continued providing funding to abstinence-only education, and AFLA even saw an increase in their funding in 1996. This is not funny, but it
shit.
kind of is. When Congress ended a division of AFLA that gave financial support to pregnant teens.
Oh.
So, like, for a hot fucking sec, they were sort of being supportive. AFLA's main thing was if a teen did get pregnant, they promoted adoption. Which not a horrible idea, but you know,
nothing wrong with it. But again, you shouldn't be forced to. You should be able to make whatever decision you want.
Yeah. And so at the time when they were doing that, when teens did get pregnant, they would give them financial support to hopefully like adopt out that child.
Sure.
But then in 1996, they were like, hey, we're seeing a slight dip in funding. Let's make this even worse than it already was.
Y'all thought we cared about teenagers that are pregnant? Ooh, no.
This was never about that.
It was always about not boning. It's always been about the not boning.
Oh God.
You ever get so little bitches that you like want other people to also not get bitches?
No, that's exactly what it was. It was a bunch of old white dudes. Like, it was Orrin Hatch pissed that he didn't have bitches.
Yeah.
He was like, how can I make nobody else have bitches?
It's like, hey man, sorry that you're abstaining from getting bitches. Why do you gotta bring everyone down?
So the effects of AFLA have been pretty astounding. The resources for comprehensive sex education have been so beaten down that you can hardly find them. Sex education in schools continues to be absolutely abysmal, and the government continues to allocate money through AFLA or in alignment with AFLA's beliefs. In 1996, Title V of the Welfare Reform Act allocated more funding to states that adhered to abstinence-only education. Which is fucking stupid. Fucked up. I can't.
Because literally, and especially because fucking states and like the education system in states is already so underfunded. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, more money to talk about how you just shouldn't bone? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give you some of that.
Yeah.
And then in 2000, the Social Security Act provided funding to community and religious organizations to teach abstinence-only education to adolescents. So once again, our Social Security money going to this fucking bullshit.
Of course it is.
Yep. There's been overwhelming research that abstinence-only education does not work. There's been no trackable decrease in teen pregnancies, as well as a rise in STD and STI rates among teens, and a high divorce rate among people who have gotten married in their teens. And on the contrary, there has been measured evidence that teens who receive a comprehensive sex education program have a much lower rate of teen pregnancy and lower rates of STDs and STIs. Abstinence-only education has a direct correlation to teen marriage that oftentimes can result in painful divorce. And this is where the statistic I was laughing about earlier. So according to AFLA, in 1978, approximately 1,100,000 teenagers became pregnant, and of those teenagers, over half were not married. Okay, so in their 8.2 or whatever rise in teen pregnancy, under half of those were married teens.
Oh, so they just like didn't. Okay, so they fucking hella fudge those numbers.
They're fucking twisting the books, man.
And like, what do they even qualify as? Like, because it's like 18 a teen, or is it like before that?
I think it's up to 19. I want to say
that's bullshit.
It is.
Yeah, such bullshit.
Yeah, because age of consent is 18. And then, and you can't be factoring in, your whole thing is you can fuck once you're married. Well, you're factoring in married people into your fucking thing to get your stupid ass bill to pass. So fuck you.
Fuck you.
And also, I mean, that's a whole other huge issue I have is like living in this fucking state. Oftentimes you will see people get married really, really young because of this.
Fuck so bad.
And it's, because they want to fuck so bad. And it's so messed up because it leads to so many people either being in relationships that they're really unhappy in and now they're married and it's a whole thing, or they get divorced down the line, and that's like a really shitty experience.
True.
So,
or
like,
heaven forbid you end up married to someone that sucks and is like abusive in one way or another. Like,
because you don't know that person, and your brain isn't developed, so you don't know what you're fucking doing.
Your brain's not developed. You've literally been dating them for 3 months. Like, chill.
Oh God, it's woof. Not to mention, of course, that none of this abstinence-only education is discussing consent, ownership of bodies, how sex, even after marriage, can be enjoyed safely, and definitely not ever how LGBTQ people can safely have sex, or even that LGBTQ people, like, exist at all.
Yeah.
And then a huge hole in this logic of this abstinence-only education is ignoring the fact that even if these teens follow the curriculum and don't have sex until after marriage, they'll still be completely informed when that wedding day does come.
Yeah.
And you should still, if you're a married person, you should still know how to practice good, safe sex and know what a vagina looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just in general, like, yeah, fucking stupid.
Yeah. Insane. So here's just a few more statistics on like this shit sucking ass. In 2005, the government gave a performance review of AFLA and it got a very poor rating. They said it lacked strategic planning and that they couldn't determine the impact on reducing adolescent pregnancy. In 2007, researchers from the Guttmacher Institute found that the decline in adolescent pregnancy rates from 1995 to 2002 was because of improved contraceptive use and not because of abstinence-only education.
Yeah.
No fucking shot there.
Yeah.
Because you cannot stop teenagers from fucking.
Yeah, they're gonna bone.
They're gonna bone. So you should probably, if you don't want to have teenage babies, you should probably tell them what to do when boning to not have babies. I know we all know this, but my God.
It's, yeah. Well, see, but that's your first mistake, Phoebe, is you are thinking that, like, facts mean anything.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then that's on me.
That's kind of on you, yeah.
This same study found that comprehensive sex education was much more effective than abstinence-only education. It found that comprehensive sex ed is more effective because it teaches them about contraception methods, which obviously I was just saying, they're gonna fuck, and this helps them not have babies when fucking. Yeah, so there you go. And I mean, I didn't even get to covering, like, the way that LGBTQ sexual partnerships are handled, and the fact that, like, masturbation, they just don't even tell you about it at all, or like how it's like actually way healthy for you. And then it just leads to people being really scared and confused and ashamed. So
yeah,
thanks AFLA, and thanks Orrin Hatch,
and thanks Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, thanks fucking Reagan once again.
My fave guy.
Friend of the pod,
bestie in real life.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah,
always going to brunch with R&R.
R&R. We like walk down the street swinging our hands back and forth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Still a thing to this day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Going hard, AFLA.
It really makes me think of Aflac.
Yes.
Like the duck commercial.
Uh-huh.
Or of the Ben variety. Ben Affleck.
Yes. Yeah. Which, can't say which one I prefer, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the duck is cute.
It is cute.
Ben Affleck does have that back tattoo where it's just a giant phoenix.
Big old phoenix.
Yeah.
So
listeners,
kind of sick.
You decide.
Yeah, weigh in on our poll. Which do you prefer, Duck Affleck or Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
I'll put it on the Instagram.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll see what the what the verdict is. Anyway, let's take a little break, Nader.
Word.
The only Affleck I want is these, the ones that support this podcast.
Affleck, if you're listening.
True.
Finger guns to the mic.
Either, actually. Ben or Duck.
Yes. Give us some money.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Anyway. Wow, that was good, actually.
Yeah. We're back. We're talking about loans.
Mm-hmm.
They're stupid.
They're stupid and they suck.
Yeah.
And how it's like literally just fake money. Like it's all fake money.
True.
Like even the loan people don't really have that money. I mean, they do, but like not really.
Yeah, I mean,
just money is fake in general.
Money doesn't exist. If you think it does, you're wrong.
Newsflash.
The official stance of remarks is money,
not real. Crows are gonna uprise.
Yeah.
And I was talking. Okay, this was so funny. I was talking to my sister yesterday, and we like saw a crow, and I was like going off about the crow uprising, and I was like, you know, there's two animals in this world that are gonna like definitely take over. It'll be crows, and she goes dolphins, and I was like, exactly. Fucking dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins for sure are like a second. Yeah,
they're so scary.
I'm mostly scared of the crows. But
yeah.
Weirdly enough, we were talking about dolphins the other day too, because my roommate Sam was like, "Do you remember that story of that lady who that worked for NASA and was training this dolphin for something, and the dolphin was really horny, so she started jaying off the dolphin?"
Yes.
And yeah, so that lady would jerk off this dolphin so that he could focus more.
God.
And then was like, "Well, it wasn't sexual at all for me, so it was fine." And like, I was like, "Why? How is that fine?"
Like, if we've gotten to the point, I hate it so much. If we've gotten to the point where you like need to fucking jerk off this dolphin that you're like making do like what fucking research for you or whatever, maybe don't. Maybe we're not doing that anymore.
Dolphins weren't meant to like, work jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Dolphins don't need to exist under capitalism. Like if you are literally so like insanely whatever the fuck you were doing that like you're okay with doing that, set that dolphin free.
You need to
put him back in the ocean.
What you're doing.
You're done with the dolphins. Just leave.
You done. We need a sex offender registry list for the dolphins. Like,
Ma'am,
you don't
put down the dolphin.
You don't get to go around fucking zoos anymore. You don't get to go around pools.
Yeah, not even chlorine.
Yeah,
I don't
care. You can't buy chlorine. Jesus.
You blew it.
You ruined it. Okay, well, we're gonna get into my little story.
I'm excited.
My little story here. The title of this is "The Christian Wrong," which I thought was funny, and we're talking about the Christian right.
Amazing.
Yes.
One of your favorite subjects.
Oh, I love talking about the Christian right. It's because it's bad and it's awful.
It's insane.
So our story takes us back a little bit further than yours, to January 22nd, 1973. Which I guess was kind of around. You talked about it too.
10 years earlier.
Yeah. Which some may know as the day that the decision of Roe v. Wade case was decided.
Fuck.
And it was said that women should have legal autonomy over their bodies to decide whether to have an abortion or not. Mm-hmm. Or at least that's what I thought I was going to get into in this research.
Ooh, that's a good little intro. I'm excited.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It's a little bit more fucked up than that, or
good.
It goes deeper. Prior to 1973, and for many years afterwards, evangelicals viewed abortion as mostly a Catholic issue. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, in 1968, the evangelical magazine Christianity Today refused to characterize abortion as sinful because of, and I quote, individual health, family welfare, and societal responsibility.
Wow.
So
where did those days go?
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking world. So in 1971, 74, and 76, the Southern Baptist Convention encouraged legislation that would allow termination of pregnancy under conditions of rape, incest, and clear evidence of fetal deformity and health damage to the mother.
That's something.
I mean, it's definitely something. Again, it's not quite like full autonomy, but that's more than a lot of people think of today. So.
Also, I just feel like I would not want to be within 100 miles of the Southern Baptist Convention. Mm-hmm. I'm so scared of that.
It just doesn't sound good.
No.
Yeah, so and this was, again, this specific convention kept this line of thinking up through 1976, but we'll get into some of the things that go on here.
Amazing.
W.A. Criswell, the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, and former president of the Southern Baptist Convention, stated this: "I have always felt that it was only after a child was born and had a life separate from its mother that it became an individual person," he said. "And it has always been therefore seemed to me that what is best for the mother and for the future should be allowed."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so,
crazy.
Insane shit, right?
Yeah.
Evangelicals were not very keen on abortion until some things changed.
Oh, good.
Now, as I'm sure you're aware, there was a lot of change happening at this time, like societally or socially in America. There was anti-Vietnam protest that brought youth culture into the mainstream, as well as the women's liberation movement, gay rights activism, and of course the civil rights movement.
True. Shit was going down.
Yeah. 1960s
People were
and
fed up.
70s, people were bummed, dude. And if there's one thing that Christians can't stand, it's when the government tells them they can't continue to be racist.
Oh, it's true.
It's what a wonderful time. In May of 1996, wait, let me see here. That's definitely not right. 1996. When was that?
That was much.
It was probably
76? 66?
I believe it was 1969.
Ah, that makes sense.
I missed
Little
missed
typo
it there. In May of 1969, a group of black parents in Holmes County, Mississippi, sued the Treasury Department after 3 new white-only private Christian schools were being opened up. The group of parents was arguing that the schools shouldn't be allowed to have tax-exempt status as long as the schools were segregated. And yeah, these were Christian schools. This, of course, made those racist Christians mad, and especially the ones who ran the schools and didn't want to pay taxes. In 1954, there was another famous court case called Brown v. Board of Education, which sought to end segregation in schools. And 1969 was the first year that desegregation would take place in segregated areas. So the counties had put off as long as possible to segregate their schools.
Right.
So this was the last year that 1969 was the first year they were integrating in some of these places. And in 1968, there were 771 white students enrolled in public schools in Holmes County, Mississippi. Do you want to guess how many were enrolled in public schools the following year after desegregation?
Oh, God. What, like 50?
28.
Oh, my God.
The following year after that, 0.
What the fuck?
There was not a single white student in public school in this county.
My God.
It's insane. 771 to 0 in 2 years.
I can't.
They all went, and that's why they were opening so many goddamn Christian schools, private Christian schools in this area, was because, again, people were fucking racist. Yeah. Now, in a shocking change of character, Richard Nixon actually did something cool. In 1970, he basically ordered the IRS to take tax-exempt status away from all segregated private Christian schools.
That is pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the one
tight.
thing he ever did that was like
cool,
kind of pretty good.
Like good guy Richard Nixon and the IRS, like weird.
That's true.
Strange, yeah.
2 of America's most hated figures got together and it's like, oh, it's actually
maybe we could do something cool, yeah. Also, donations to those schools were no longer tax deductible. As you probably imagine, this made the owners of those schools very upset. However, this decision did not affect the average evangelical Christian, who was just racist, but didn't really care about like the school's tax exempt status, right? Like whether or not the white school is getting having to pay taxes, they don't care. They just want their kids to be in an all white school.
Yep.
And maybe there was like a few that were like big about it, but like the average one would not have cared. Mm-hmm. Now, Paul Weyrich, one of these devout evangelicals, was trying to rally the average evangelical vote for quite some time. He was like, oh, there's a big market of untapped political power here in the evangelical vote. Mm-hmm. He saw how uneasy many people were with the changing times and all of the social movements happening for people, demanding basic human rights and things.
Yeah. So scary.
Very scary stuff, yeah. And if there's one thing Christians love, it's to talk about hate. Like to talk about, but like, okay, if there's one thing that Christians love to talk about, it's helping people, but they hate actually doing it.
Yes, exactly.
That sentence was weird coming out of my mouth.
I mean, that's okay. Yeah, very true.
Weyrich stated this: the new political philosophy must be defined by us, conservatives, in moral terms packaged as non-religious language and propagated throughout the country by our new coalition. Weyrich wrote in the mid-1970s, when political power is achieved, the moral majority will have the opportunity to recreate this great nation. Weyrich Weyrich believed that the political possibilities of such a coalition were unlimited. The leadership, moral philosophy, and workable vehicle are at hand, just waiting to be blended and activated, he wrote. If the moral majority acts, results could well exceed our wildest dreams.
Oh my God.
So basically what he's saying is like, we have to go through and we can't be like Bible thumpers. We have to like implement this in like non-religious language, as he says. Like they're basically just like, we have to like, because, you know, people are demanding human rights, we have to like package it differently because religion isn't enough right now.
Right. Religion's not cool anymore. Well, and he literally said like propagated, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Propagated,
like you said it right there,
he
man.
said the thing.
Everybody take a shot. He said it.
Take a shot every time we say propaganda. You'll be so drunk at the end of this episode. You'll probably be dead.
Yeah.
So Weyrich attempted to champion many different causes to get his political goals achieved, including anti-pornography, pro-prayer in schools, and even rallying against the Equal Rights Amendment, which, you know, is really cool to rally against an amendment that's literally says equal rights. But he couldn't get any regular Joe evangelicals to take the bait. Mm-hmm. That brings us to Jerry Falwell, who Weyrich is like the first one who's like trying to do this. Jerry Falwell is like the face of what becomes the moral majority.
Okay.
When the IRS made tax-exempt status not an option for segregated schools, they sent out a bunch of questionnaires to schools asking them if they allowed black students to attend, including Falwell's own Christian school that he owned in Lynchburg. He was also a pastor. He was quoted stating at this time, "It's easier to open a massage parlor than a Christian school." Which I think he was implying that massage parlors are bad, or that they're like
immoral or something?
I don't know. I don't know what he means.
Weird thing. Also, not liking the name of that town.
Lynchburg.
Yeah, not sitting right with me.
LYNCHBURG.
Yeah. Not making me feel good about this place.
Not my fave place. So Bob Jones University, and again, this is actually a college, received one such letter and defiantly responded it did not accept African Americans. Bob Jones Jr. would argue that segregation was mandated by the Bible.
Wow.
Which, you know, never seen that passage. But
nope.
But Weyrich and Falwell knew that that kind of argument wouldn't gain much sympathy from the general public, especially as the public opinion was beginning to change about segregation. Mm-hmm. You know, again, no, you can't really. There's not really that much in the Bible about segregation. You can't really argue it, right?
Think of a single piece.
But you know, the worst thing you could do as like a Christian, Christian right politics guy is actually like read the Bible.
Yeah,
that would ruin your whole thing.
100%. You'd be like, oh my God, everything I believe is wrong.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm a piece of shit. Falwell and Weyrich realized they couldn't just argue pro-segregation, so they needed to blend it with a pro-Christian libertarian religious freedom argument rather than just bigotry. It wasn't about racism. It was about the principle, as is what they'd probably say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and the Christian libertarian movement is also something that's coming around in this time, where they're, you know, very like, the government can't infringe on our faith, and we gotta, you know, it's very much like, this is our religious freedom, blah blah blah. Bob Jones University eventually did allow black people to attend, but they would only allow married black people to attend, and any interracial dating would result in expulsion.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's awful. And it's so frustrating. Like, they're all about like, oh, it's our religious freedom. It's our religious freedom to do this. The government can't tell us what to do. But then we're only going to let married black people attend because we don't want interracial dating or marriage or anything. Like it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's such a hypocritical line of thinking.
It's insane.
It's unhinged.
And I mean, like, aligning too with the prayer in schools thing, it's like their arguments with that is like, well, it's our religious freedom. And it's like, okay, well, can we start the day then with a Muslim prayer, a Jewish prayer, a Buddhist prayer?
Exactly.
And they're going to lose their fucking shit.
They would lose their fucking minds. Yeah. So the IRS isn't often the good guy of any story, but it did follow up and remove Bob Jones University's tax-exempt status, as it should.
Thank you for the one nice thing you've ever done,
the
IRS.
One cool thing the IRS did. Falwell, Weyrich, and others decided to blame Jimmy Carter for his loss, or for this loss of the tax-exempt status, though it was a Nixon policy. They were determined to elect a conservative Christian, even if it meant fighting against a fellow evangelical, Jimmy Carter, just because he was a Democrat.
Shows where their moral alignments are.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Jimmy Carter, not like the best guy, but I think he builds houses in like developing countries now. So
he's like, was he the one that did like the fire or the like? Didn't he do like kind of preaching stuff? Was that Jimmy?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
He
either.
probably did. He's like always been like a staunch evangelical, but. So it wasn't even a matter of having a religious president. It was a matter of having a racist president that pretended to be religious. And they knew that they could use just a blatant, or they knew they couldn't use just blatant racism to rally modern evangelicals, so they devised a plan. By the late 1970s, many Christians began to feel uneasy about the spike in legal abortions, and as evangelicals and Catholics united, we began to see many pro-life state senators take office. Francis A. Schaeffer was a madman who preached about the downfall of America to something he called secular humanism, which is basically like it's the same old argument as all of them. Like the secular, the ungodliness is going to be the downfall of our country. It's like the cultural Marxists or whatever.
Exactly.
Schaeffer and a pediatric surgeon, C. Everett Koop, created a series of films called Whatever Happened to the Human Race. They toured the country describing in graphic detail what happens in an abortion.
Oh, God.
There was one memorable scene of dead baby dolls sprawled across the Dead Sea.
Oh my God.
And also there was this gem
and
of a
way
picture.
To litter, by the way.
True, and way to litter. There is also this gem of a picture that I'm going to show you.
Live reaction.
And I need you to describe it to the audience.
Okay. Oh. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, so you have like 4 doctors that are like super jazzed with suction machines just sucking up these little fetuses in canes and top hats.
And it's
bow ties.
It's animated.
It's like an illustration.
Well, and I guess it was in a movie, so it was animated.
Okay, yeah,
but
it
that
looks
was,
like
part of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful, huh? Next level.
Very.
So that happens. And this
that shit goes on.
That shit happens. And again, so this big movement was beginning to build against abortion rights. And again, this is happening way after Roe v. Wade has passed. Okay. It's happening I don't know, like 6 years after Roe v. Wade went through.
Okay.
And traditionally, evangelicals did not find abortion to be an issue. It was more, again, of a Catholic issue.
Yeah.
But the moral majority and the Christian right began to solidify the anti-abortion rhetoric between evangelicals and Catholics, and basically gained all the support because they were racist and didn't want segregation. Yeah.
It's like the handshake meme of like moral majority evangelicals and then Catholics coming in for a third handshake, and it's like racism.
Exactly. Yep. Carter did attempt to reduce abortion rates while he was president, but he would not illegalize it because he was sane, like he understood. Even though, so that brings in our, soon to be next president after Carter, Ronnie Reagan.
Oh man, he's everywhere.
He's always there.
Can't get rid of him.
It's unfortunate.
Like most of the shit that's wrong with our society, it's like, oh, it was Ronald Reagan's fault. Okay,
yeah,
that
tracks. So yeah, the moral majority heavily pushed Ronald Reagan, and is a big part of the reason why he got elected. Again, because they wanted a Republican. They needed it for their political aims. And it's not, and like, just to put it all out in the open, Ronald Reagan passed one of at the time, the most liberal abortion bill in California in 1967.
Wow.
But he did state that he was against the IRS's, and I quote, unconstitutional regulatory agenda. So again, it was never about abortion.
Yep.
It was only ever about the segregation of schools.
Yep.
Jerry Falwell would go on to take credit for raising the religious right in America, and we've been knee-deep in that shit ever since.
Yeah.
That's
like, really.
Where the inception of the evangelical pro-life movement started.
I love it. I'm so glad.
It's lovely, huh? Fun fact, just a little bonus fun fact. Jerry Falwell got really upset later on in his life, I guess, when it would have to be. He was really upset about the purple Teletubby because it was widely believed that was the gay Teletubby. And he said it wasn't a good example. Yeah, so
oh my god.
So on like Wikipedia, that like has like all of his like stances, and it's like homosexuality, like gay marriage, abortion, blah blah blah, this and this. Purple Teletubby.
Purple Teletubby.
Yeah, an anti-purple Teletubby.
He would be fucking like rolling in his grave if he saw like the media that we have today.
Oh yeah.
Like if he was pissed because one of the dancing like people wearing suits that was like kind of alienistic was purple, and he thought just purple's too gay. Just the color purple, too fucking gay. He would lose his mind.
Oh yeah, he would. Like you show that man fucking Steven Universe, it's over. He'd
don't even tell him about the L word.
Oh no,
he would die on impact.
Yeah, he couldn't make it. Yeah, and I think it's also because like the purple one had like a triangle, which was like the gay symbol.
Oh god, and it just makes you like realize again too what little we gays had to grasp onto like back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, oh my god, that one has a triangle, and triangles are loosely associated with gayness. Like, hooray, representation.
Like, wow, what such representation in our media.
A triangle is involved in this fucking kids show.
Oh my god.
About shapes, probably.
It's about shapes, yeah. I don't know, I've never watched Teletubbies.
They just ban triangles in like any like kids kids just aren't allowed to learn about the shape triangle.
You can't learn about triangle until you're an adult.
Pythagorean theorem, forget it.
No, don't need it. Earth is flat.
Earth is flat. Triangles are gay and the earth is flat.
That's, if there's one thing we can stand by on our podcast,
100%.
Earth is flat, triangles are gay, and Phoebe lays pipe.
Exactly, period.
That's all you need to know.
It's the 3 facts of life.
And yeah, that was my little story.
Wow, that was good.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to go lay down a little bit.
It's just, and it's crazy because like you think that, abortion's been this like hot topic, and it has been for a while now, but like 1960s, like prior to that, evangelicals just didn't care.
That's the thing with all of this shit. Like like I was saying at the beginning of the thing, like the "In God We Trust" and the Pledge of Allegiance God part, that was 1950s. The fucking AFLA shit that made it so that like we can't learn about safe sex in school was like 1981.
Yeah,
that's not that long. My parents were alive.
Yeah,
like fuck. The fact that there was a time before this shit existed, it's just like, god damn it.
And that's what's so funny, because you think like, yeah, there's obviously like was very problematic things further back, but like there was also like in the 1920s, like there was a socialist party that would run for offices in America. Like it was an actual and like you could never You could never today.
Hell no.
Bernie
could barely say that he was a democratic socialist.
Exactly.
People were losing their goddamn minds.
Oh, and that's the thing is Bernie Sanders wasn't even like that. He was like a New Deal Democrat.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, hey, maybe we can like make more jobs and give people health care.
Oh God. Shit's just everything's been bad and is bad.
It's bad all the time, not good. And that's how we.
And that's the show, folks. Have a good day.
And that's all, folks. Well.
Goddamn.
If you want to know what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna record a funny ass bonus episode after this.
We are.
Phoebe, where could I listen to this bonus episode?
You can listen to this bonus episode on patreon.com and search Remarks. I'm sure the URL is something like patreon.com/remarkspodcast or something like that.
Yeah,
but
it
anyway,
might even just be Remarks.
I think. Anyway, there's a link in our link tree on the Instagram. But yeah, go check out our Patreon and listen to this funny bonus episode after this so you feel a little bit better about the world, or at least you get to laugh.
Yeah, and it's only $5.
$5 a month. It's
not crazy.
It's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
But whatever works best. I mean, no pressure. Anyway.
Let's thank our Patreons.
Yes, let's do it. Thank you to Andrew Vass.
Thank you to Emily Doran.
Thank you to Justin Vass.
Woo woo.
Love it.
And speaking of our Instagram, you can check out not only the picture that Taylor was talking about. That's not how I meant to say that. You can check out the Taylor, the picture. What's wrong with me?
The Taylor, the picture.
Check out the Taylor. Check out the picture that Taylor showed me on air.
Yeah.
On our Instagram, which is @RemarksPodcast. You can check out our couple of TikToks on our TikTok, which is the same, @RemarksPodcast. Where can I tweet?
You can tweet at us at RemarksPod on Twitter, and you can leave us a like and a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts.
Please do. It would be very helpful to our show.
Very true.
And you have a YouTube channel.
Oh, yes. And you can also find my YouTube channel, The Lefty Agenda.
And he just released a video about this fucking whack movie. So go check it out because I need to listen to that one because I want to know your thoughts on this movie because it was so insane.
It's unhinged, yeah.
Absolutely.
So check it out.
Check it out. And also buy a sticker if you would like.
Yes. Hit us up for a sticker.
They're
and if
tight.
you become a Patreon, you get a sticker.
It's true.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
It's a win for everybody.
For everyone. Well,
anyway.
Thanks for listening, and
K love you. Bye. That was really good.